Okay, so this is just us going through the first page of the revision, trigonometry. So first up is asking you for the hypotenuse and the right angle. The right angle is always at a capital L shape, and it is a little box that connects the two. So here's our capital L shape, here's our little box, that's our right angle. The hypotenuse is always opposite that right angle. It's the longest side, okay? That is the hypotenuse. So I've labelled both the hypotenuse and the right angle. That's that first question done. For the second question, it asks you to label opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. I always go from the opposite. I rule a line into the middle of the opposite side from the angle that's given, and that is your opposite. Okay, I do that for all three of them. Opposite, opposite, opposite. Then once I do that, I look at opposite the right angle, which will be called the hypotenuse, because on the opposite side of the right angle is the longest side. That is the hypotenuse. Label your hypotenuse. And then the last, if you've got a right angle and an angle, the adjacent will be the one in between the two. Okay, and it should be the only side you have left. That is your adjacent. For question 3, please make sure you read this properly. You'll see an example later where I haven't. So, we are trying to see what we would need to do to find out the value of the unknown. Okay? We've got an angle here. We've got an adjacent side just there. We've got a hypotenuse here because opposite the 90 degree. That means that we have H and A. Which of these three have H and A? Of course, it is K. Cosine theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. C, A, H, C, A, H. For B, the angle we've got here is opposite this side. So that is the O. This is the hypotenuse, which is opposite my 90 degree. It's the longest side. We've got O and H. Which of these have O and H? It is so. Sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. Sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. That one there. For C, just so then I don't have to scroll up again, I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA again. SOHCAHTOA. And as always, I always separate it out into those three, okay? Doesn't need to be one complete word. You can separate it into those three sections, okay? I have my angle. Opposite my angle has to be my opposite side. In between the two angles is my adjacent. So I've got O and A. Which of those three have O and A? It's TOA. Tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. So you need to go across and see where you've got tan theta is opposite over adjacent. It is that one. That there is when the teacher doesn't read properly. Question 4. And this one doesn't work properly. Factorize the following. Factorizing is all about taking out the common factor out the front of the brackets. We've got 3a and we've got 12. From my times tables, I know that 3 is in the 3 times tables, and I know that 12 is in the 3 times tables. And that's the biggest number I can use, so I'm going to put that at the front. 3a divided by 3. So what it's asking you is, what do you have to times 3 by to get 3a? Of course, the answer is A. What do I have to times 3 by to get 12? The answer is positive 4. 3 times positive 4 will get you 12. That one's done. With this next one, 2t equals 14t squared. What is something common to both of these? They're both even numbers, so they both must be divisible by 2, and 2 is the biggest number that will fit in there. So I should definitely have 2 at the front. Is there a variable that's common to both, like a letter? There is. They both have t. So I'm going to put 2t at the front, which is all this first one has, so you can't add any more at the front. What do I have to times 2t by to get 2t? 1. What about 2t to get 14t? To get the 14, 2 times 7 will give me 14. And I have to have minus because there's a minus there. Okay? But there's 1t here. That's t squared. That means it's t times t, which means I need to have another t there. And if you ever have any doubts, multiply it out again to check to see that when you expand this, it ends up equaling this. So that's how to do the first page. Let me know if you've got any questions.